costuming department.
Nadine Haders.
Nadine Haders.
Nadine Haders.
Hi, I'm Nadine Haders, and I am the costume designer on Leverage Redemption.
Our costume designer, Nadine Haders, has been with us since the beginning of the show, and she's really like an extra character. She knows our characters better than we do ourselves.
207 is going to be 100 episodes, which we are prepping right now. We're prepping that episode, and I will have done 99 of them. I did not do the pilot. And then when it came back around, Dean called me and I said, of course I want to come back. So I did.
She always seamlessly puts us together so slickly, but also she has these great dramatic moments where she can build pieces for us.
There's like so much magic that happens in here. That's from yesterday. So I have dual fitting rooms, and a lot of times I do 2 fittings at once because time is tight.
Whatever you throw at her, she will handle. If it's a 1970s period piece set in swinging London, or a medieval fair with people dressed as knights and squires, she just rolls with it. It means a lot to the tone of the show, both the authenticity and quite frankly, the fun. When you see her colors popping off the screen, it just means so much to the show.
Favorite con look from the first season? We had a lot of good ones, but the one that comes to mind is the rolling on the river job with Parker and the Belle of the Ball. Her character's name was Belle, and that was my first instinct, was to make her the Belle of the Ball. So while everyone else is in proper evening attire, Parker is completely bonkers, and that's what we love about her.
We've had a lot of fun moments. One that comes to mind is episode 3, and it's where we take over a riverboat casino, and Nadine Haders, our costume designer, built a Southern Belle costume for Parker, and it's one of those like massive hoop skirts where she's practically knocking people over as she walks through this casino.
She had to be in the water, and she had to lose the skirt, the whole gag of it. We had to build it in a way that she could take the skirt off and have something underneath that was appropriate, you know, and be swimming in the water in, because her and Elliot come out of the river in it. So the idea that we came up with was to make a bloomer. Believe me, it was crazy amounts of work.
20 yards of tulle just in the skirt.
And we had to build everything in pieces so that we could take things off, put things back on. This is the bodice.
Stunts had her own.
Yeah, and then Stunts had one.
One
So
of the dress form and the little dress shop.
it was so wide and it was so narrow in the space in the set that Randall built, that getting her to walk through, she had to like shimmy around things. But it had really good bounce on it, so when Beth was walking, she would just bounce it up and down. It's hilarious. She was taking out people and drinks and props. We had to have a sneaker on her because, I mean, to maneuver this whole thing, it's quite disgusting. And the bugs were so heavy in the pond. It was awful, and they were such troopers about it. Like, we blasted them with hot water to keep them wet, but yeah, the gloves did not last the time to tell the story, but yeah, we did little stripy gloves, the same colors. Fun. It was a really fun costume.
And she knows these actors and she knows these characters, and so she finds the intersection where the characters have their own identities, but they reflect the actor underneath. You know, it's a synthesis. You know, at no point do you feel she's ladling Sophie Devereaux onto Gina. She's finding Sophie Devereaux inside of Gina. And when you have somebody like Nadine, I will absolutely tell an absolutely true story. Off of the first show in Leverage, I was directing an episode and she brought me this wardrobe choice and I hated it. I really just was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna lose that item of clothing. As soon as we get out on the set, I'm gonna just politely, look, it happens, right? Director doesn't agree with it, a costume designer. And we got her in this, and the actress stepped under the light and I realized she balanced the color of the fabric against the light that she knew would be in that space, and it was the most gorgeous thing I've ever put on film. And I'm like, oh, shut up and trust Nadine. And that is basically a pretty good motto with Nadine. Shut up, trust Nadine, it's gonna be great.
Nadine Hayter and I go way back, and we're dear friends, and we also have a bit of a shorthand because we've done so much together. But early on in an episode, we'll exchange notes about color palette. Where are you going? And if she says, I've got this beautiful periwinkle pantsuit for Sophie, then I'll try and find something that'll act well with that and enhance that. Vice versa, if I say I feel really strongly that this set is going to have warm earth tones and rich woods and things of that nature, maybe she'll use that to inspire her costuming. But she's phenomenal. The costuming on the show is just incredible, and it's a joy to work with her.
We had a episode called The Jackal, and the Jackal was a famous grifter back in London in the 70s. We get to wear period clothes, and we had built a British tavern, and we had to find left-hand drive cars. So it's a nice little break for all of the crew to do something outside of the box. The wardrobe department gets to make funky clothes. Transportation gets to source cool cars. The art department is, designing things in 1970 in London. And the actors get to have fun with it as well. And anytime they get to work.
In a surprising upset, Senator John